6:30 CHED Afternoons with Jaylen Nye. Weekdays at 2 on 6:30 CHED.
You know, the past 9 months have been a whirlwind for an Edmonton man. We last talked to Zachary Aubert just after he launched his passion project. It's a space-themed YouTube channel called The Launch Pad, and he kicked it off in a huge way. His very first episode, he landed an interview that people around the world were trying to get. He landed U.S. billionaire, entrepreneur, and pilot Jared Isaacman. Isaacman is the commander of the SpaceX flight dubbed Inspiration 4. It's the first all-civilian mission to space, and it's coming up around the corner, but this was just a tiny piece of that interview.
Jared, we'd like to thank you for being with us here at the Launchpad today. We know you're super busy, so we'll get kind of straight to it. You're obviously a very successful entrepreneur and adventurer, and have had the ball thrown your way many times. Can you tell us a bit about some of the adventures you've had previously, but this new big adventure you're embarking on today?
Yeah, well, first, thanks for having me on. Obviously, I love talking about Inspiration 4 and everything we hope to accomplish with this really awesome mission.
So pretty cool. He nailed he nailed the interview that everyone wanted to get. Now Zach is going to have an up close and personal experience with SpaceX, as he's been invited to watch the launch in person. That's like next week. Zachary Aubert joins us this afternoon. Hey, Zach, welcome back to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
You must be flying high these days.
Oh, yeah, it's been a crazy couple weeks and a few more sleeps and we'll be on our way.
Tell me, since that first interview with Isaacman, you've landed a few others, some big wheels in the space world as well. I think I saw the head of NASA on your show as well. What has the past few months been like for you?
As you said at the opening, it's kind of been a whirlwind. It started as a passion project and really has turned into, the starts of a career, hopefully covering, everything space. And yeah, I've been lucky enough to have NASA invite me into some of their media teleconferences and ask some questions straight to different panels with the announcement of returning to the moon with our human lander. I was in that press conference, which as a kid never would have really thought that I would be in that press conference. It was a limited number of telephone spots, and I got one. And now, having the pleasure and honor of being invited by Jared to experience Inspiration 4 kind of up close and personal at Kennedy, takes the cake on top of even that interview.
All right. So as you said, you've been invited by Isaacman to come on down and watch the SpaceX Crew Dragon launch next week at the Kennedy Space Center. How did that happen?
Yeah, after the interview, Jared's really amazing. He likes connecting with, those people that are excited about Inspiration 4 and people that have been asking questions on Twitter. He's been answering them as much as he can. And he and I have stayed connected since the interview, tried to line up some other interviews. But as you can imagine, 6 months of training to go to space instead of years of training, they're pretty busy. And one thing they did was for all the people that applied for the prosperity seat, there's about 140 people that applied. Jared, long after they announced who won that seat, actually contacted all of them and said, you know what, you're going to come to the launch as my guest and be there. And to me, I was like, someone needs to document that. Those 140 people, if they can all come, had a 1 in 140 shot of sitting on that rocket. Mm-hmm. And I want to see what their emotions are like and their reactions. Many of them have never seen a rocket launch and were that close to getting to go. And so I sent a message to Jared and just said, hey, would you mind if I kind of crash the party and just come and get to witness it myself, but also document some of that history and their emotions. And middle of the night, got a response, yeah, shouldn't be a problem. We'll figure it out closer to. And kind of the last 6 months have passed, and the paperwork has started to come in to be ready to actually be on site since it is a government base.
Oh, my goodness. How exciting is that? So for those who don't know, about the prosperity seat and a little bit about this launch and about this SpaceX Crew Dragon launch, tell us about it. What makes it special?
So it's called Inspiration 4 for a couple of reasons. One, Inspiration 4, it's the fourth ever crewed Crew Dragon launch from SpaceX. But most importantly, it's the first all-civilian mission to space. So the 4 people on board are as close to everyday people as you can get. Yes, one of them went through NASA astronaut training and Jared is a pilot, but they are not trained astronauts spending years training for this. 6 months ago, they didn't know they were going up, and they've been going through that training process, and they're going to go up for 3 days. They're not docking anywhere. They're going for just the orbit, but they said if we're going to go, we're going to make it big. So, one, they're going to go to a higher elevation as Hubble, so they're going over 590 kilometers above the ISS. Which is Edmonton to Calgary and back and more straight up.
Yeah.
And they're doing it as a big fundraiser for St. Jude's, which is like Stollery Children's here in Canada, to help fight childhood cancer and take care of the families. Because if we're spending all this money going to space and becoming multiplanetary, we better be taking care of our kids and families here on Earth as well.
Yeah, without a doubt. So you said when you get down there that you're hoping to document all of this. I mean, you could end up with some really amazing stuff to put up on the Launchpad YouTube channel when you get back. What are you hoping this experience is going to be like for you?
Just trying to take it all in. I've yet to see a launch in person. I've covered many of them through a computer screen. I know some people down in Florida that have seen them, but kind of capturing even just that kind of raw, what it's actually like to be there so people can travel. Obviously, travel is not easy right now, but giving people that experience to be there, because I think if we were in a normal world, Florida would be packed for this, and it just unfortunately won't be able to be that way. But trying to document that, getting people's reactions after it, but also just letting it speak for itself and just sitting and listening and seeing and knowing that this is the first and it'll never happen again.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's just the start of these civilian missions as we continue exploring space.
Well, your thoughts on what we've seen over the past, 6 weeks or so? Virgin Galactic, we've seen, what was the other one? Bezos.
New Shepard,
yeah,
Blue Origin.
Yeah, Blue Virgin, all of that going. Your thoughts on, what I guess is going to be the eventuality that everyday people are going to be able to travel to space, but being able to be here and watch these first steps, what's going through your mind?
I think it's just shocking at how quickly it's happened.
Yeah.
10 years ago, we saw the shuttle get retired due to budget cuts and stuff, and there was a number of years that the U.S. couldn't go, and really the U.S. is the leading power in space exploration, and Elon Musk with SpaceX has opened that up, and now we're seeing, as you said, Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos opening up even just suborbital space. And, mentioning New Shepard, it's funny to me that I'm 25, I'm from Canada, I've never trained as an engineer or astronaut. I have paperwork to buy a seat on New Shepard. Now, I can't afford it, but I have the paperwork. And to me, that just shows where we're going. That I think through this last 2 years, last 2 years really now, it's a bumpy road for us, but knowing that, we're getting through it and technology is advancing, that's why we're being able to get through the pandemic, and that there is hope of what we can do on the other side, and that it's opening up for more people. We're seeing a lot more private flights opening up, and we're seeing those costs start to come down. Hopefully, maybe by the time I retire, going to space is like just a big cruise that people save up for.
Would you do it in a heartbeat?
Crew Dragon, I would.
Yeah.
The other two are still pretty new, so it might take a little convincing. But Crew Dragon's a smart capsule. Falcon 9's a smart rocket. I trust it.
Well, you know what? We need to get you more subscribers for your YouTube channel so you can get that seat someday there, Zach.
That would be amazing. 100,000 subscribers. We made the joke that we'll do a suborbital flight, so we'll see what happens.
Well, Zach, you enjoy this experience. I'm really, really thrilled for you. It's going to be something that you're never going to ever forget. And good on you for continuing to take the shot, right? You throw it out there and you never know what's going to come back, and you keep doing it, and it keeps paying off for you, and it's really impressive. Really is.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for your support through this journey. And if people want to follow along, youtube.com/thelaunchpad, easy to join us on this journey.
Absolutely. I spent a lot of time on there this afternoon because it's easy to spend a lot of time on there. Zach, all the best. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, Zach Albert joining me this afternoon. You can check out, it's The Launchpad. If you're into space stuff, and I know a lot of you are, check it out. He's got a lot of cool stuff on there. But this, 25-year-old Edmonton kid, throwing it out there, nailing that interview, and then, hey, throwing it out there once again. And now he's going down in person to watch this launch. What an experience.